people in the world.
Hi, this is host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. We have a question. This question is for Megabro directly, but anybody else who might know the answer. I'm in my debate class. I want to understand this part, and I don't understand it. And my students and I need to understand it. Returning once more to our definition of artificial intelligence, let us carefully distinguish between deductive and inductive processes. An automaton behaves according to the following equation. This is the part I don't get. S, blah, 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 all that math stuff there. It says S T plus blah T equals capital T, capital S, T. I don't know what that is. So anyway, it says where ST is the state of the automaton at time T. S, that thing, is the state of the automaton at the time T. And capital T is the transformation that when applied to ST yields ST blah blah blah. In a deductive process, the transform T is known. Thus, if ST is known, subject to the limits of uncertainty, of course, we may calculate that and thus determine the progressive behavior of the automaton. The transform may be a function that is continuous throughout the state space. For example, the formula blah transforms an old principle blah to a new principle blah by the application if the transform blah. Repeated application results in exponential growth of the principle, the familiar compound interest phenomenon. Now, this is a model of cognition that I don't understand quite what they're saying. I don't get it. I need help. Then this part I think is a little bit more clear maybe. Certainly we can envision much more complex continuous transforms, but it is doubtful whether we can postulate a single continuous transform or even a set of continuous transforms to account for and simulate the almost unfathomable, highly differentiated, non-homogeneous, apparently erratic behavior of Homo sapiens. Moving the transform, this is the other part I want to help with. Moving the transform from continuous to discrete space helps somewhat. By allowing the transform to be a matrix, what are you doing? What in the world are you girls doing? Moving the transform from continuous to discrete space helps somewhat. By allowing the transform to be a matrix, we can allow our deductive automaton to leave great discontinuities in a single bound. To illustrate this point, consider the classical brain teaser. You have a box of chicken and a bag of grain. You come to a river that you must cross. There is a small boat available that can carry only yourself and one of your possessions across the river per trip. What is your optimal strategy for crossing the river with all your possessions intact? It is impossible to imagine the application of a continuous transform to this problem. However, it is easily approached using a set of discrete transforms representing the well-understood principles of classical deduction. Such problems have been successfully solved by automatons using discrete deductive problem-solving techniques. However, it is fortunate that the state space of this problem is very limited, the rules of the game simple and fixed, and the set of applicable deductive transforms well understood. Consider a similar word problem which I posed to some colleagues in Berlin a few years ago. You live in a geographical region that is completely surrounded by the enemy. The enemy's territory is in turn surrounded both by your friends and by allies of your enemy. In terms of your allies and your enemy's economic, political, and cultural situations, what is your optimal strategy for survival? The ability to solve this problem, in which the situation is not so simple, is obviously a much more critically needed ingredient of intelligence. However, needless to say, the application of deductive methods in this case will not yield satisfactory results. The transforms are simply not known, except perhaps in obvious and often critical phases, such as open warfare. Alright, so what I want to know is, I don't get this model of transform, and I'm curious to know it, and if you, Megabro, I'm asking you specifically, but if anybody else can help me with this, I'll be happy to take help from anybody. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.